Hello, all my art-loving people out there. In the last video, which I will link in the corner for you, we created this crazy palette of Michael Harding dots, extra large dots. So now it is an official palette, and it's okay. It's not sticking too bad, although we'll see how it works after I use it and flip pages today. And while I was creating this, there were some colors that I wanted to compare to some other colors in particular. So while we could spend an entire day comparing all these colors to all my other colors, I just have this short list of ones I really wanted to highlight and see what they look like in comparison. So let's just do it, and then we'll use this palette too to color in my kitty coloring book. Winsor & Newton has a burnt sienna that everyone says is incomparable, uncomparable, all of that, to any other burnt sienna out there. They say that it's brilliant, it's like redness and all of that, just can't be beat. So I do have the original burnt sienna from Winsor & Newton. I'm very lucky. It's a PR 101, as you can see here. People are also saying that Michael Harding's burnt sienna is giving it a run for its money. So that is the first one I am super excited to try. So this is the Michael Harding one, and I didn't push very hard on the dot. I was trying to be conservative and not use a bunch of it for just swatching, but when I swatched it over here on this card, it did strike me as being very brilliant, very pretty. And I thought, ooh. Anyway, it immediately reminded me of Winsor & Newton, so I figured we should just pull it out and see. I'll try to swatch equivalently, but it's gonna be a little challenging, I'm sure. All right, Winsor & Newton takes a minute to wake up. I have it in a mixed palette over here at the moment because I brought it to a workshop in March and I have not taken it out. Okay, well, the first impression is, yeah, they seem really similar. Don't have as much paint on my brush, but there we go. We can't say for sure until they dry, but it is fun seeing these swatches go down. If anything, I would say Michael Harding's is more brilliant, but again, I can't get the same amount of paint up on the brush. Winsor & Newton, the original formulation, if you dry them from pans, they need some time to wake up. Okay, well, we'll see how that works, but they look pretty equal. I'm gonna lay this down again so you're gonna see it glare for a moment. All right, so now we have a dot that's wet, and we are going to flip the page. Actually, there's another color on this page, so before we flip the page, we should do the other color on this page, which is going to be this Perylene Crimson. For some reason, I was thinking I had a bunch of these Perylene Crimsons, but I could only find one, and it took a lot of searching. So that's with the Marie's Masters watercolors. So let's do the Michael Harding version first. Wow, these just come right off the dot. And she did take these from the tube, obviously, since they're big, lovely dots. Okay, we'll get a little more at the top. All right. Yeah, that's a neat color. In the Marie's Masters palette, if I can get it open. This palette's neat, but it is sometimes difficult to open. It is Crimson, PR 149, this one. Fourth down. Okay, that one. Let's see. It does look similar on the swatch sheet. This one is more red, I think. You can tell already, it certainly seems more red. So I think I was getting this pigment confused with PR 146. I was like, oh, I have a bunch of those, but no. For some reason, it's in this 24 tube set of Marie's Masters. So yeah, they are not the same. This one is much more orange, quite beautiful. All right, this is scary. We are flipping the page. We're going to shut it with wet dots. That is scary. Next up was this sap green. It just looked so different than any other sap greens that I have used, and so I want to compare it to the PG8s that I have. That's kind of what it reminded me of, were PG8s. So here's Michael Harding's again. And yeah, I have a bunch of other sap greens we could compare it to, but none of the other sap greens are this hue, so I figured that was kind of pointless. We could probably compare this sap green to some of like the Hooker's green that we have too, but I didn't want to. I just wanted to compare it to the PG8 because that's what it reminded me the most of. Darn that glare. It's very dark outside. It's stormy, so I cannot turn the light off, which I sometimes do for you guys. Okay, Rosa Gallery's green. Here it is. Yeah, and at first impression is they're very similar. I think the Rosa Gallery green is a little more vibrant. Less gray, probably because of the brown pigment in there. But I really wanted to find out. I don't know if I have an exact, see, I really need to finish my watercolor database because I could just look these pigments up and know exactly where to find them. Instead, I had to go searching over all my studio and look at all the swatch sheets. It was crazy. I have Shinhan palette that I've never showed you guys because I was waiting on some colors, which I got a long time ago, and now I'm just waiting on time. So this one, oh, interesting. We need to change this up. So Shinhan has a Hooker's green that's a PG8 and a sap green that's a PG8. Interesting. So we'll add one more square. Can you tell I didn't use a ruler? Okay, so as long as I didn't make a mistake on that swatch sheet, cheat sheet, we should have two from this palette to compare. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. This one looks different. Yeah, this is definitely not a match. It's a big no. But we'll finish the square anyway. And the sap green. I'm so excited to see this. Let's just... Oh, weird. That is very olivey, or I don't know. The yellow is just... There's no yellow in it, but it's like yellow is just shining through. I wonder if I mislabeled this pigment. I'll have to double check because it definitely looks like it has yellow in it. Okay, well the closest one is the one I was thinking was the closest when I first saw this one, which is the Rosa Gallery green. This does remind me though of a Paraline green. I'd actually like to see it compared to Forest. What is that one called from Sennelier? This palette wrecked. Can you see the mess that it is? It's very sad. Yeah, Forest Green, which I think is a PBK something. PBK 7, oh, it's mixed with three colors, but you know, just out of curiosity, just because it reminds me the most of Forest Green, let's swatch those next to each other because inquiring minds, that's me, wants to know. So this one I'm putting down right now, this one is the Michael Harding, and I probably should have, oh no, this should have known Sennelier would activate quickly. Oh, that's way different. Interesting. Super bright. Okay, fine. Nothing's the same. But these two are the closest. Good to know. Really need to fix this palette. Oh, I am so excited for this comparison too because a friend sent me Winsor & Newton's Aqua Green, a little bit of it here in a half pan. And because of that, it's one of their most famous colors, or like, it's very popular among painters, that especially portrait artists. And we probably could have compared it to the ultramarine turquoise from Core, because that's the one they sell in their portrait set, which is the third one over. So we should have added that one in here, but too bad. I'm gonna just go with ones that are actually called Aqua Green. Right, here's Michael Harding. I should have dropped some water on that Winsor & Newton one. Oh well. So this has two phthalo pigments in it, and it makes me curious what is actually in the Winsor & Newton one, because when you look it up, it just says phthalo. So that's all we get to know about it. If any of you have any more info, let me know. Okay, this one's much more blue. This one Looks like it probably matches the core one more than the Michael Harding one. Okay. Those are not a match. Those are very different colors. While we have the page open here with the aqua green on it, we should do the Quinacridone coral because it's on the same page. Oh, this one is so pretty. Okay, are we ready for this? I'm ready. Quinacridone coral PR209. That's just absolutely delightful. What a beautiful color. Just get a little more, even though we don't really need more. It's nice and strong. It's just fun to have a bit of color on there. And Da Vinci has Quinacridone red. That is a PR209. Let's see what that looks like. Da Vinci's paints are absolutely delightful as well. Oh, pretty. So I didn't get as much paint, or it's a softer hue, one or the other. Let's get some more paint and see. Now I have so much water, it's never gonna be the same as the other one. That's pretty darn similar. We'll see when they dry and see if I can get a little bit more paint on there. The paper's kind of coming up as well. It doesn't like to be worked much. And in Roman Schmal's palette here, it's called Cherry Quinacridone Red, as you can see. Yeah, this one kind of looks creamy, like it has white in it too. Like when I activated the Michael Harding one, that's kind of what I felt like. I almost said it out loud, but then I'm like, no, it doesn't have white in it. We'll see how it goes on the paper. But yeah, this one is creamy. It feels more opaque than the other two, and I went out of the line. That's sad. Definitely seems more opaque, but I'm curious if it will dry looking more opaque or not. The hues are all fairly similar. I think Roman Schmal's might be a tad bit lighter, but we'll find out when it dries. Okay, let's do this Cinquasia Maroon. I was most interested in this because it's a PR206, which is, they claim, a discontinued pigment. And I wanted to see what it looked like compared. I knew I had a couple more. I thought I had a couple more, but I have paint that has PR206 in it, but the only PR206 I have on its own was from this Chow Mei set. I think that's how you pronounce that, from Paul Rubens. So we will open that up. That hasn't been opened since I did the review on it, but that one, alizarin crimson hue, says it is just a PR206. And I can tell already it's going to be much more red. Here it goes. It's definitely, yeah, wow. Totally different. Very pretty though. But not at all the same. And now for our biggest comparison of the entire time is Dark Moralone Earth, which, and when I swatched it in the video last week, I felt that it was very similar to a Caput Mortuum. So that's basically what we're going to compare it to, with the exception of this last one, as you can see. Dark Moralone Earth. Oh, that's pretty. Wow. So pretty. Maybe I'll try and keep that one a little lighter. Hey, Roman Schmal's Caput Mortuum. Pretty. More similar than I thought. I thought that this Michael Harding one was going to end up being a little bit more violet, but we'll see. I think I have a little more pigment on this one. It is a different pigment. You can see that. It's a PR102, but they look really similar. So for the paper separating right there. Rosa Gallery's Caput Mortuum. Ooh, that looks really similar as well. This one definitely is more violet than the previous one, but it doesn't look too far different than that one here in the studio. It's hard because this one's drying so strangely. All right, Da Vinci's Violet Iron Oxide. Both these last ones are PR101s, which you can see at the bottom here. They're written down. Wow, this sure seems strong and beautiful. Kind of wonder if I shouldn't get a little more pigment. The paper on this side just doesn't seem to be very happy though. All right, let's go back to the ones that are dry. So now that they're dry, I would say that the Winsor & Newton Burnt Sienna is a little bit more vibrant, has a little bit more life to it. But the Michael Harding one isn't too bad. Yeah, this one just, that's nice. It's quite nice. The sap green versus the green. And a few others that do not count. These, very different for PR 149s. The aqua greens are quite different. The camera may be lessening the difference a little bit. In person, I think the camera also has trouble with like super bright colors. This one is super bright green tint to it. It's lovely, but I'm showing up more blue on the camera. This one's showing up, it looks like very accurately to its color that I'm seeing here in person. Yep, those two clearly different. As far as the Cherry Quinn reds or corals, whichever you want to call them. These two are very similar. This one just seems a little more pink. It's quite lovely, but let's see, because we could just have a different amount of pigment. So if we cover that there, got a picture in your mind of what that looks like, and that, they look the same. Can we find a spot on this that looks the same? That, I think, looks the same as that. Maybe this one might be more red a little bit. Let's try it down here. No, they look the same. Very nice. I'd say you could probably use any one of those, although this one's nice. They're all nice. This last one, the paper, is not helping our comparison, but this is the outlier here in person. These three, this one, and this one, definitely have the violet in them more than this one. And this is the PR 102, so maybe not surprising. I'd say the granulation is more equivalent between these two. This one just seems a lot softer as far as the granulation is concerned. Maybe more finely milled, I'm not sure, but these are pretty similar as far as the granulation. Color-wise, actually these two are fairly similar in color, and these two are very similar in color, but this does have a little bit more violet coming through than this one, and you can really only see that over here in that section there, which this doesn't help much in this case because, but anyway, I think a better way of putting it would be to say that this has a little bit more brown coming through than these others. These others definitely, you look at it and you feel a little bit of that violet coming through, and that's great. They're beautiful. One last thing I want to do is compare the lamp black, because we did do lamp black on the paper that this came on, which is just I don't know, maybe a Canson, I'm not sure, something kind of slick. She told me what paper she put it on, but I forgot what she said, and I could go look it up. But point of this is not to care what paper we did this on earlier, but you guys saw in the Paul Rubens video, if you missed that, I can link that in the corner too, that the lamp black from Paul Rubens spreads like wildfire, and it's a PBK7. This is a PBK6, but in particular, PBK6s are supposed to spread like wildfire when they get dropped in water. So let's get some on the brush. See, we've got a nice amount here, and it just doesn't. So it didn't on the other paper too. It just stayed put, and it's just staying put here too. It's obviously getting softer edges from being in water, but it's not acting like the lamp blacks and whatnot from Winsor & Newton and Paul Rubens. I bought these off of eBay last year or year before, and sure would like to know where the one is I already opened, but I'll just open another one, it's okay. Lamp black. So this is supposedly the PBK6 when I looked it up. This is back when they were still made in England, so it's kind of a treasure. A treasure that I'm going to enjoy. Look, it's even labeled on the pan. Activated really quickly. Ready? Let's see if I still have enough water on the page for this. Oh, Everyone says Winsor & Newton's lamp black is the best. Wow. So it pushed all the water away though from the middle. Let me see if I put more. Yeah, it will push more in. Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. There's an advertisement for Winsor & Newton's lamp black for you. You could probably find more of these on eBay, but I think their new lamp black is maybe a mixture of PBK6 and PBK7, but don't quote me on that. I'm not really sure. All right, now is the time. We use this crazy fun palette to actually color in my coloring book. So if you go to buy this on my website, you would receive the binding up at the top, because I realized that for left-handed people, the binding over here doesn't work, but I went ahead and kept this one. It is 100% cotton paper. It's absolutely delightful and vibrant. You can paint on both sides of the paper, and currently you can only get it in this smaller size here, which I think is a little over 7.5 inches tall, and each page is 5 inches wide approximately. And I want to paint this page here. That's the nice thing too about having the binding at the top. If you were to buy one of these, is that it makes it easier to tape the edges. This is very thirsty paper. It's not stretched or anything, so it may warp on you. Taping it down is probably a really good idea. I'm going to not tape it down, and I'm going to hope for the best. But what I am going to do is tape behind it so that I don't get paint on the following pages. Or maybe I can just put this swatch sheet behind it. Oops, nope, that's glaring. Okay, maybe I'll just stick this piece of paper behind it. It won't protect that page, but I'll try and be careful. All right, so we just did the swatches a bit ago, and yeah, things are sticky, but the paint that comes off goes over on this palette side, and I can always use it. I may need a few more of my separating components that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch last week's video. Okay. In my mind, when I created this coloring page, I kind of envisioned that he was watching a sunset, but we don't have to do that. There are some really pretty yellows in here. Like, look at these two, the Turner's yellow and the Indian yellow. I think we should use the Turner's yellow. Yes, beautiful yellow. Too much water, but that's okay. I'm dying to use this brilliant pink. So even though it has white in it, I want to use it. We have to use it. Oh, wow. Okay, it's brilliant. Now we need some kind of beautiful blue. Phthalo turquoise, that's pretty. Cerulean, that's pretty. Phthalo blue lake, that's pretty. Indian throne blue. Aha! Blue verditer. Oh, got some on my finger. Oh yeah, that was a good choice. This particular verditer blue has white in it as well, but I don't mind that for skies so much. And I want to go back to the brilliant pink a little bit. That's more than a little bit. It's all good. Ooh, that makes a pretty, kind of like a mauve. Paper is handling all my crazy layers very nicely. It's not drying weird on me. Nothing like that, so that's good. The farthest away mountain. I'm kind of dying to try this cosmic blue. Might be too dark for a mountain so far away, but I need to move that out a little bit. Anyway, I do have mixing space up here, so I can pull some off and lighten it up, which is nice having these palette sheets upside down over here. All right, that might be too light, but let's see what we get. Oh, could have used a smaller brush. Ah! My yellow looked dry, but was not. Tempted to just leave that. I don't know. The yellow on its own is so pretty. I think I will fix it. There. Fixed. Okay, we will skip a level and try a different color first. I'm thinking the Paraline green, but diluted. Might be a pretty next layer. Maybe this layer is a meadow, so we could do the ochre Ickles lemon there, but that needs to dry up above there first. So we'll skip that. Kind of want to use the Prussian blue, so we're going to use the Prussian blue. We need to dilute it too, because it's a strong one. Okay, Prussian blue for the win. Oh boy, it always surprises me how bright it is at first. Even though I told you guys about this last video. Now I'm kind of dying to try the cobalt green deep, and I'm going to go ahead and let it touch that blue layer by the time I get up there, because I think it could look pretty on that one if it bleeds. Now I'm kind of curious if this Turner's yellow will lift. I don't have my lifting brushes out handy, but let's just see. If we scrub on it with a regular soft brush, it lifts a little bit with a regular soft brush. It's best to scrub with a much firmer brush, but did soften it at least. That's good. Alright, I don't know if we can get away with putting this ochre word I don't know lemon in here yet, but we're gonna try. I think we can get away with painting the cosmic blue mountain now. Let's try it. So I'm using these watercolors very watered down, just so you know, because it really takes so little paint with these to get a lot of color, and this is a far away scene, so these mountains need to stay looking fairly light. So we may not be seeing the full glory of these watercolors, but you get to see what they look like nice and diluted in some of the cases here. Alright, we have one more mountain there. I think we should do the cosmic blue again, just darker. Seems like a good idea to me. That yellow, that yellow is still kind of wet. Yep, it's bleeding into the yellow. Well, that just tells you how long this paper stays wet for. That's kind of handy. I didn't get any weird pushback or cauliflowering or anything up there in the sky, and I messed with it a long time. Alright, we should find an interesting color for the rock he's standing on. Got lots of stickiness happening over here. I think we should use the burnt sienna we tested today. And I've got some from shutting this stuck up here in the mixing space, so that's a good one to use. Wow, that's so pretty. Yep, gorgeous. It'd help if I could stay in the lines, or should I say outside of the lines in this case. Not doing very good with that. It's almost like he has either no pants on because he's a cat, except it looks like he has a jacket on, or that he's wearing something like VJ's where the feet are built into the pants. It's so cute. Yes, we're gonna use the Sinquasia. I don't know if that's how you say that. That's okay. The Maroon that we tested today for the backpack. See, that's his color there. That's super bright too. I could mix it with burnt sienna. Or he could be a bright kitty, but I'm kind of tempted to make him a gray kitty or something. And is he wearing pants or not? I'm gonna go for it. Indian yellow red shade. Ooh, that's beautiful. That is a good choice. Oh, that's so pretty. This paper is delightful. That's very bright kitty. I kind of want to make him not have pants on so I could put more of this color there, but he has to have pants on because I didn't draw a tail, and his tail must be tucked in the pants. I could draw a tail, I guess. I could have a tail hole in the pants. I think he needs a tail. Does my tail look fat? Probably should get a smaller brush out. Probably should let that ink dry a little first. There, I am much happier having a tail on this guy. I should put a tail on the future coloring books. Just do a slightly better job than I did just now. Yeah, little tail sticking out of his pants. Perfect! His tail needs to be longer, but since I closed the end of it, I don't really get that option, do I? Okay, I want him to have a Perylene green jacket. I just have to find the Perylene green. There it is. Yeah, this palette paper is working out okay. Thought the Perylene green jacket would go nicely with that cobalt green deep mountain we have. So that's why I wanted to do that. Bled into the backpack. You gotta make sure, I think on this paper, that every layer is completely dry if you want to paint right up next to it. Because I would have preferred that not to bleed into the backpack, but I guess it just looks like a shadow. We're gonna go with that. It looks like a shadow. Oh, I better not touch it near the head though. I'm gonna make sure that this is very, very dry before I put in the little Perylene green marks there and there. So I may get the, in fact, I'm gonna get the heat gun out. He could be wearing jeans and we could do that sky blue for his pants. I'm a little nervous about that. It might be kind of bright. Well, we'll try it. If it's too bright, we will just go over it with the darker color, right? I think that looks fine. I'm gonna cheat for his stripes and use this marker. Don't know if that's a great idea or not. Not be. I wonder if we have a dark brown in this lovely set of colors. Sepia. But a smaller brush. It's not that much smaller, but smaller. Now we'll give him a little burnt sienna belt. Oh, that's lovely. And there we have it. And by not having it taped down and using the heat gun, this is what it looks like, the top with all the water warped. But I'll shut this overnight and I'll show you in the morning what it looks like, because I bet you it's going to be much flatter. I'm gonna let it dry a little longer. Then I'll shut it, then I'll show you in the morning. And it is, let's see, 4 in the afternoon right now. So I'll just show it to you either later tonight or in the morning. Good morning. Like I promised, I would show you this coloring book. So I left the coloring book closed with just my phone on it like that. And then when I had to take my phone upstairs with me, I just had these kind of lighter sketchbooks that I laid on it. And there's me not holding it. It's just popping open because it's a book. And here's this side. Trying not to hold it so you can still see it's a little bit bent there, but I imagine when you paint on the back side of it and paint some of these other pages, it's going to be fine. But look, this is perfectly reasonable, and it's only when you're holding it up that it even falls forward. When I lay it on the desk, it's flat. And I'm so excited. It's been a while since I've painted in this, and I'm just glad, relieved, even though I did a lot of extensive testing to make sure this paper was going to be okay, and I felt that it was, but you still always worry about that, and this really made me feel great that this is good paper. I hope those of you that have bought this coloring book, the watercolor version, and I really love the cardstock version too. It's so fun with markers and colored pencils. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you still want to get one, they are for sale on my website. So thank you so much for joining me today. This was so fun. Those Michael Harding watercolors are going to be a blast. The palette is a little bit tricky. May have to change that up in the future, but for now it's fine. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Let's see what our other colors are. Oh my gosh, there's so many pretty colors. What are you doing, Jack? Oh, how cute.
Yeah.
She has air conditioning in there. Yeah, they're probably like, what the heck? It's hot out here. Aww. They need to spend more time outside. Oh, tired.
What is that?